We are coming to you from the city beautiful Chicago, Illinois, where this afternoon WGN Sports presents White Sox baseball. It's Jose Abreu, Adam Dunn, Adam Eaton and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Eric Hosmer, Alex Gordon, and the Kansas City Royals. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson, as we get set to bring you Game 3 of this three-game set and the finale of the six-game homestand. We won the opener 3-1. That was Chris Sale picking up his ninth victory of the season. Then yesterday, in 3 hours to coin a phrase, in 35 minutes of excruciating baseball, we lost it 7-1. But this afternoon, we got ourselves a good pitching matchup.
Certainly do. We got a veteran right-hander and a veteran left-hander as James Shields, big game James, goes against Jose Quintana. Last time out, he got a no decision against Boston. He was leading the game, but unfortunately for him, he didn't get it done. Jose Quintana, last time out, threw the ball very well against Houston, but like he usually does, 3 straight no decisions in a row. So unfortunately, Quintana continues to throw the ball as well as he can throw it. The one problem being he's never beaten Kansas City. This has been his trouble team. And you look at those numbers and you realize that although at times he's thrown well, he's yet to beat them. On the other side of the field, Shields is 6-5 against our Sox with an ERA of 3.69. It's a pretty good pitcher. He's got a great move to first base, a very good changeup. It's a wonderful pitching matchup.
All right, Quintana against Shields, so sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way. Chicago White Sox baseball is brought to you by Miller Lite. Now back in this original can, it's Miller time. By Ford, proud sponsor of your Chicago White Sox. Check out America's best-selling brand at your local Ford store or online at localfordstores.com. And by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
Like just yesterday, but it was actually 5 years ago today that the Sox took on Tampa Bay in what would turn out to be an absolutely perfect afternoon.
I mean, it was one of those things I try not to think about too much. Obviously, you know what's going on. You know, especially in the 8th and 9th inning, every pitch, the crowd's going crazy. And you just tell myself, just settle down, relax, just do what I've been doing the first 7 or 8 innings and just work on pitch by pitch. Actually said before the game, hey, why don't you go out and throw a no-hitter? And I said, why? I already threw one of those. I don't need to throw another one. He said, well, hell, then go out there and throw a perfect game. So this is before I even went out and started getting loose or anything. So I think we were about halfway through getting loose, and I looked down and I said, hey, hopefully it gets a little better. It just was couldn't hit my spots. I wasn't throwing anything where I wanted it to.
He gone. Yes, he did. He gone. He gone.
5 or 6 innings in, you obviously know you have nobody's got on base. I think actually every inning builds up. It gets more, I guess, more, all right, this could happen, you know, it's getting close to the end of the game.
He gone. That is 15 up, 15 down for Buehrle.
The 7th or 8th inning, kind of every time I came off the field and went back out, obviously the crowd was getting into it and cheering every time. Like every time I stepped on the field, they started going crazy. And the same thing after I got the 3 outs.
Call your neighbors. Mark Buehrle has a perfect game going to the 9th.
Everything was working for me, and when I missed my location and didn't throw a good pitch, they either took it or fouled it off or put it in play.
That ball hit deep into left center field.
When he hit it, I didn't know he hit it that good. I knew it was going to be a deep fly ball.
Wise back.
So I just tell myself, just stay in the ballpark, just give him a chance. If it is going to be a home run, just make sure it's a row or 2 up so we can jump up and get it.
Makes the catch! What a play by Wise! Mercy!
I didn't realize it fell out of the glove until that night we were in the hotel room in Detroit when I watched it on TV. I just seen he robbed the home run. I didn't see everything else that happened. I think I even freaked out even more and sent him a text like, you got to be kidding me with that catch. Because obviously I think that made the whole thing falling out and catching it with his bare hand.
He gone! 1 to go!
In the last out, Jason Bartlett, I threw a hanging changeup that he should have crushed and he ended up ground out to Alexi.
Alexei! Yes! 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 History!
Five years ago today. We'll be back with lineups and today's first pitch after a break. Your SAP audio setting provided by 97.5 FM, ESPN Deportes, Chicago's first and only Spanish language sports radio station. And let's take a look at how Ned Yost is going to line up his Royals this afternoon. It's going to be Kane, Infante, and Hosmer at the top with Perez, Gordon, and Valencia in the middle, followed by Moustakas, Escobar, and Aoki rounding it out. The Sox defense, Piazza, Eaton, and Sierra in the outfield with Gillespie, Ramirez, Beckham, and Abreu in the infield. Tyler Flowers, the new daddy, behind the plate. And Jose Quintana on the hill looking for win number 6. His ERA about 3.25 on for his 21st start of the year. And the umpires, Andy Fletcher behind the plate, Mike Muchlinski at first, Jeff Gosney is at second, and Mike Winters, our crew chief, is at third. So we're ready to play baseball, and I'm ready to turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Ken Harrelson.
All right, Stevie, thank you. And Jose Quintana, our 25-year-old southpaw, looks in, gets the sign, and the first pitch of the ball game taken for a strike. And once again, good afternoon, everyone. A beautiful day here in the city, beautiful for White Sox baseball. So happy you could join us right here with WGN Sports. Lorenzo Cain hitting at 297. 3 homers, he's driven in 37. That ball hit hard. Very hard. 1 hop, ground rule double to start the game off. This is 18th two back.
A lot of times it really doesn't matter who's wearing the uniform of the respective team you're facing, but there are some teams where you have no luck. For Quintana, that's been Kansas City. He's 0-5 against him career-wise. And Kane starts it off with a blast. Rocketed over the head of Eaton. One hop out of the ballpark, and not a particularly good way to start this one.
So here is Infante. He had the same at-bat situation yesterday after Jared Dyson let it off with a double. And he did not get the job done, which just shocked both of us. The way he can move the ball to the right side, he grounded out to Gillespie at third. But he is leading this club in RBIs with 48. He comes in hitting at 270. Now that'll get the job done. So the sacrifice, 3 unassisted, and Kane in the third.
Decided not to swing away, but to bunt it. And if you deaden it, you make pretty sure that the sacrifice is going to work. And for Infante, it worked to perfection.
Well, now they're going to bring the infield in because James Shields is pitching. And when you get big game James out there, you don't want to give up too many. So here's Hosmer making his first appearance in this series, hitting at 272, 6 homers, and 44 driven in.
Hosmer had been red hot, but had a hand injury. John Lester hit him on the hand, and so he sat out a couple of ball games. As you can see, a 16-game hitting streak, hitting .413 with a couple of homers, 9 runs batted in, and 6 doubles.
Well, this lineup has a different personality, as that's into center field, and that's going to be caught. He may have left too quick, but he scores, and it's 1-0 Kansas City.
Terrific play by Adam Eaton, because this looked like a looping base hit. Adam dives to the side, gets up, even with a double clutch. Pretty tough to even think about getting Lorenzo Cain. He's got big speed. He did indeed wait in time.
He did.
Even with a good throw, you're just not going to get him.
No, once you hit the ground, you're not. If he catches it in the air, at knee high, maybe he had a shot at him. But there's the way he can throw. 1-0 quickly.
And for Hosmer, RBI number 45 is he's trying to sneak up on Infante for the team lead.
Well, it's just a different personality in this lineup without Hosmer. And look at the play. That's a beautiful grab on a fair ball. A beautiful play by Gillespie. Mercy. Meanwhile, after half inning of play, it's Royals 1 and the good guys coming to bat.
Lineup today. Adam Eaton leading it off, and it's Gordon Beckham, Jose Abreu, Adam Dunn, Alexei Ramirez, Connor Gillespie, Alejandro Diaza, who's been hot, with Tyler Flowers, who's been equally as hot, and then rounding out with Moises Sierra. The defense and on the lineup behind James Shields. It's Gordon, Kane, and Aoki in the outfield with Moustakas, Escobar, and Fonte and Hosmer in the infield. Salvador Perez behind the plate, and James Shields on the hill. He's 9-5 this year, ERA 3.70. On for his 22nd start. Opponents hitting 274, which is a high number, actually. He doesn't walk many people. He does strike out a whole lot of people. He's got a great changeup. Can pretty much tell you it's coming. He still can't hit it.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours. First pitch strike. To Adam Eaton. Adam hitting at 283, a homer. He's driven in 25. 3 for 7 in this series and 4 for 7 lifetime off Shields. Chops the foul for an 0-2 count. This is the 12th meeting of the year between these two teams, and first of 11. Kansas City has won 7.
That'll push that hitting streak to double digits. Is Adam Eaton.
There's a chopper to Hopper. And they get him.
Escobar knew he had to hurry because Adam Eaton will go down the line on each and every ball he hits as if it's the last ball he's going to hit. And he just barely got him at first base. Escobar's got a big arm, and he got him by a half step.
Well, that's the way the game should be played. Like it's the last game you're ever going to play, or another outlook might be, a lot of people in these stands, this is the only chance they're going to get to see you play, so give them a throw.
And he does it real well.
Here's Beckham. That pitch has popped up. So with 2 out, let's check out our picks to click this afternoon. Managerial direction of the crew, well, they went with Diaza. Steve's going with Gillespie. J.J. Shearer and all the great folks at Ditka's. We're going to go with Adam Eaton. So here's Abreu. He fouls that pitch back.
Shields is going to be a free agent, and he's going to be highly sought after. 7 years in a row. This is going to be his 8th, going over 200 innings. He also wins in double digits every year. He is a dependable guy who is a staff leader. You can see 109 and 87. ERA 3.78. 1,559 strikeouts.
And there's a strike. So 2 out, 1-2 the count. Abreu 29 homers, 74 knocked in. That ball hit hard in the right center field. Kane, he's not going to get that one. So that will be a double. Number 23 for Jose.
That's a cutter on the outside corner, and he doesn't get it down as low as he'd like. So after a brief day off yesterday, Ryu comes back out and continues to do what he's done all year. Hit.
And here's Adam. And it's into center field. Not going to be caught. So Abreu is going to score, and this game is tied at 1.
I'll be at number 41 as Adam takes that off-speed pitch. It was up, not where Shields would have wanted it. He doesn't wait around, takes the first pitch. Kane can't get to it, having to play a little deeper than normal with the big man up. And the Kansas City lead does not last long.
And Abreu now hit 31 of his last 32 games. That's pretty good. As here is Alexei hitting at 281, 8 homers. He's driven in 42. Jacks it up. Count evens at 1. Gillespie on deck.
A 13-game hitting streak for Jose, on his way to try to exceed his high, which is 18. What a difference his lineup has with him in it.
And that Kansas City lineup today looking a little bare without Billy Butler in there. That's a fair ball. And that'll retire the side, but the double by Abreu. The single by Dunn. We'll go to the second, tied at 1. Alex Gordon will lead it off here in the top of the second. Game tied at 1. He'll be followed by Valencia and Mike Moustakas. Gordon 2 for 3 yesterday. He is 4 for 8 in the series. Lifetime against Quintana. 4 for 26.
Last year, Gordon drove in 81, and that was because they dropped him down in the batting order. He was a leadoff hitter for quite some time, but they still believe that he's going to be a consistent run producer. They would like to see him pick up from the 45 that he has now. He's a good, solid player, winner of a Gold Glove in left field last year.
Two balls, 2 strikes. With a 30-year-old outfielder, formerly a third baseman, drafted as a third baseman. Back through the middle into center field.
When you're a left-hand hitter and you can say that you get 2 hits in the same game against Chris Sale. Not to diminish anything Quintana does, but Chris Sale is one of the best left-handers in all of baseball, and very few left-handers can ever say they got 2 hits, but Gordon did when he faced him in the opening game of the series. And there's a look at Chris, 9-1, with a legitimate shot at the Cy Young Award.
Here's Valencia hitting at .295, a couple of homers, 11 knocked in.
Valencia won't play against too many right-handers, but a lifetime .335 batting average against the lefties. And that's 3rd in Major League Baseball since 2010. So those are pretty good numbers.
One thing you don't want to do is, against a club certainly you have not beaten when you're 0-5, is go 2-0-3-1. Gordon just a decent lead. 2 balls and a strike.
Valencia will swing at a whole lot of pitches. He helped out Chris Sale in that ball game by swinging at one about a foot over his head. He's only walked 7 times in 105 at bats. So he's not overly patient.
One hopper, that's fair. And the strong arm of Beckham turns it over. He'll grab some bench, rack him up.
A slow developing double play, but Valencia doesn't run real well. Connor with a good throw, and Gordon, knowing he's going to take some contact, gets the throw off, able to complete it without taking a step, and that is the characteristic of a very strong arm.
So here's Moustakas. 4 for 6 in the series with 2 homers. Both those coming yesterday. Yesterday was one of those games, if you missed it, you didn't miss a dadgum thing. I can tell you that right now. 3 hours and 35 minutes. And probably the most blah game we played in a month and a half.
Gonzalo was a .335. It seemed like it was .435.
Oh, easy.
Jeez, what a game.
It was terrible. I mean, it's just one of those days. You have those days when you're going to play 162. Moustakas, 8 for 22 against Quintana with a couple of home runs. Yeah, if you get Moustakas hitting, we've talked about it almost every time we have played in Kansas City, every game, not just series, where you can get Billy Butler in between Hosmer and Moustakas, or Moustakas and Hosmer, with both those guys swinging about well. With that bullpen they got, they could win this division very easily.
They would certainly love to start hitting the ball out of the ballpark. They don't have a lot of home run hitters. That being said, Moustakas could be one of those guys because he's got big power.
And there's ball 4. Well, we talked about that as well. As home run hitting is a state of mind. And this is not a state of mind home run hitting ball club.
It hasn't been.
Yeah, nobody on this club's got more power than Osmer. Osmer didn't hit it out of any ballpark. But if you get in a lineup that these guys are more or less line drive hitters, doubles, triples, gap hitters, you're going to be in the same situation.
And we showed you the standings, and you saw that Kansas City comes into action today. 7 games in back of Detroit. Detroit coughed another one up last night against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Only this time it was Phil Koch. They had the lead. Koch gave it up. Diamondbacks won.
Well, the Tigers have the best 5 starters in the American League. And one of the best set of 5 in baseball. It didn't make any difference. If the bullpen doesn't get it done for you, it doesn't make any difference what they do.
Well, that was Porcello going for yet another win. He's had a terrific year.
He's getting better and better. Every year, Porcello's getting better. And that's a good ball club, except for the bullpen. And nobody's going to trade him anything unless they want to give up a ton.
Surprising part about the Tigers this year, 29-17 on the road. That's pretty stout.
Now let's just put it in this perspective here. If the Tigers had anything near Kansas City's bullpen or Seattle's bullpen, they would walk away and you could wrap it up and send it to Cooperstown. But they don't.
No. Every team in the division is somewhat flawed, and that's the reason why Detroit hasn't run away with it. And Cleveland is the closest at 5.5 games back, winners of 7 of their last 10.
And what's one of the reasons Cleveland's starting to come on? One guy. He's turned things around for him. His name is Cody Allen.
He's been something since they named him the closer. Took John Axford down. Cody Allen's got overwhelming stuff. They're tied 1-1 with Minnesota in the top of the 5th in Minnesota.
Gordon just does get him. Nice play. But now Yost is coming out. Everybody on the dugout, it looked like Jared Dyson down there pointed, said, no, he's safe, he's safe. It looked like in real time that he got him. All right, so nothing's going to be done, and we're still tied at 1. WGNTV.com and click on the Game Zone banner for updated stats and information.
The Game Zone is powered by St. Xavier University. It's tradition, innovation, and this is where they meet.
Totals on the board identical here in the bottom of the second at 1, 2, and 0. So here's Gillespie. Garner hitting at .324 homers, 36 knocked in. Talking about what a blah game that was last night, and what a great job Mike Winters, home plate umpire, did. He saw 328 pitches in a game like that. As Steve mentioned, it seemed like it was 5 hours, 4 hours.
Not to mention the fact it was 86 degrees with high humidity.
Yeah, and I guarantee he didn't miss 5 pitches the whole game.
Yeah, that was a tough one to umpire.
What a game he had.
Today, a beautiful day, 65 degrees. The wind, however, very much a factor, blowing out toward right. One of those days in the middle of the summer that if you had to draw one up, it would look like this, not a cloud in the sky.
2-2 the count, not 3-1 or 3-2. Connors had good luck against Shields, 6 for 17. And of the popped up. Play Moustakas. 1 out.
Fields has pretty good numbers against just about everybody. And the numbers are good against the Sox, just not overwhelming. He's 6-5 lifetime. Career ERA of 3.69. Last year he did a little bit better. He was 2-1 with an ERA just over 2.
So here's Diaz at 237, 5 homers, 28 knocked in. Moustakas then on the grass at third. Osmer a couple steps in at first, being way back.
Last 36. Not only the offense, which as you can see has been very good, but the base running and the defense has also been very good.
Sox will conclude this game, this series, this homestand. And after the game, head on out to Minnesota for 4. And Detroit for 3. Have an off day between Minnesota and Detroit, as that's the souvenir left side. And we come home with Minnesota for 3 and Texas for 3. For a chance to make a move. That fastball at 92 up and away. And that's popped up. Kane is there. So 2 out. And you can join the Sox as we host Wild About the Sox on Wednesday, August 6th, presented by Shed Aquarium. Now, prior to the 1:10 game, there will be an interactive program about marine life, including a closed session with Shed experts and animals, video, and trivia. So, specially priced tickets, visit whitesox.com/SoxWild. There's a new Papa, Tyler, hitting a .227, 7 homers, 29 driven in. And he's had good luck against Shields. He's faced him 33 times, has 10 hits, 8 of which stayed in the park.
Last 4 games, the batting average is up close to 600. Might have a little something to do with the new glasses.
Well, it helps when you can see a little better.
It probably helps a lot. Now that batting average is at 600 during his 5-game hitting streak. He'll try to get that fastball in on his hands. It's a good spot. He threw it in off the plate.
Well, we got some of the finest eye doctors in, not just in Chicago, not just in the country, in the world. We're talking about Tracy Williams, Jim Noth, Kurt Paco, David Orth, and his crew. Sensation. Sox and the Bulls as Sierra fouls that one away. I was talking with some of our doctors in spring training, and it's amazing how many Latin players come in, young Latin players that signed, who have eye problems.
I gotta believe they don't see too many eye doctors.
That's it. 0-2. Moises, a late entry for our tank. Viciedo, I believe, with a sore left hamstring.
Was unhappy with himself on that pitch because in his mind that was his put away pitch and he got it too far inside.
One of the highlights for us yesterday was a play that Moises Sierra made. It was a sensational play on Raul Ibanez. That ball's hit hard, fair. Thank you very much by Moustakas. Tyler's going to make the turn, going to third base on the double by Moises.
This is why he was mad that he missed the put-away pitch, because he had to go back with a changeup, and this changeup was right down the middle, rifled by Moustakas, putting runners at second and third with a chance to break this tie.
We'll show you that play a little bit later that Sierra made. You don't see it made very often. So here's Adam. Takes first pitch strike. He grounded out to Escobar at short. And that is just foul.
We've seen Adam do that a few times. Going to send Perez out to the mound to talk with Shields. with Moustakas well off the line. This one just missed. A little slicing ground ball. Mike Winter says foul, and it was. Second and third and 2 outs. Sox have not been real good in this situation. Just 6% of the time did they score. League average 24%, which is about where Kansas City is with their pitching staff.
And there's another souvenir. Lays off the high heat. Good night bite. That one at 93. Two and two. Full count.
That one just up and out of the zone. Leslie Adam took it because couldn't do anything with it. And Gordon Beckham in the on deck circle in case Adam can keep it alive.
Bites that one off. And once again, the payoff. And that'll load him up. So a typical at bat right there for Adam Eaton. He will fight with you, scratch with you, kick with you, bite, anything to get on base. He will foul off pitches. He'll foul off good pitches. He'll foul off pitchers' pitches. I love to watch him play.
And that time he saw 8 pitches. And Shields is very careful with him with Gordon coming up to bat. He liked the righty-righty matchup better than he liked the righty-lefty matchup.
Well, Gordon's had pretty good luck against Shields. Now 10 for 34 with 2 home runs. So Sox packed with Sox. And there's a shot. Moustakas knocks it down, picks him up. That's a hang woofing for Beckham. He barreled it up, centered it up. Meanwhile, it's still 1-1. 1-1 tie here in the top of the third inning. It'll be Aoki, then back to the top of the order with Lorenzo Cain and Omar Infante. It was A. Quintana for us on the bump. And that ball's hit hard. Adams going to get to it, cut it off, get it back in. So the leadoff man, he's 8 for 12 in stolen bases. And Sox fans, a reminder, if you're a golf enthusiast, come out for golf night on Saturday, August 2nd. Now, all golf enthusiasts can purchase specially priced tickets, and the first 1,000 fans to purchase will also receive a Paul Konerko golf towel. So for tickets, visit whitesox.com/golf. Here's Cain. He doubled and scored in the first inning.
Despite the fact that Lorenzo Cain does have great speed, he has grounded into 7 double plays this year.
.66 degrees as we speak. Yesterday it was hot and muggy. It's just a beautiful day here in the city. Beautiful. 2-0 the count. Top of the 6th inning in Minneapolis. Twins leading Cleveland 2-1. Hopper and back him up. Make it 8 now.
That's a second 5-4-3 double play. This one a little quicker, and it had to be. One hopper, and then it's pretty easy after that. No chance at all for Aoki to get close to Beckham on the pivot at second.
That's the 103rd, 4th double plays turn today by our Sox. And one of the reasons being is there's another nice pick by Gillespie. He's throwing a little leather down there. All right, do it, Connor. Meanwhile, we'll retire the side. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd, tied at 1. Here with us today for a ceremonial first pitch. Zach Himes here with his brother AJ, and at the game with their mother Misha. Throughout the ceremonial first pitch before today's game in honor of their late father Mark. Now, Bo Jackson promised Mark a first pitch at the ballpark last year, but he sadly passed away before he had the chance to come out and do it. So Zach, AJ, Misha, and Bo are here paying tribute to Mark.
Supreme Court Justice Ann Burke in celebration of special.
So here we are in the bottom of the third inning in the 1-1 tie. It'll be Abreu, Dunn, and Alexei. Jose has doubled and scored.
He sent out a game with a stiff back, and hopefully that swing didn't help to stiffen it somewhat, because he did take a little bit of time. A knee bend.
Fouls it down 1-2.
There's Billy Butler, who is taking the day off. At least to this point, he'll be available late for pinch hitting duties. Had a double in yesterday's game and was hitless in the opener of the series.
Got him. One down.
Good straight change, and that shows you how deceptive it is. You got Jose well out in front of it. He can throw it a couple of different ways. He can throw one that goes straight down. He can also throw one that moves away from the left-handers and dives in on the right-handers.
Adam with the RBI single in the first inning.
Outfield very deep all the way around. The outfield pretty much straight away. Infield, as you can see, very shifty.
Count evens at 2.
With 4 hits through the first 2, that's a high pitch count for James Shields so far, with 1 out here in the third.
Two down, 2 strikeouts. First 2 strikeouts for Shields. And we'll send out a big White Sox hello. George Always, big Sox fan, turned 90 in June. And hopefully we'll see you at the ballpark soon, George. Here's Alexei. He went out to Moustakas.
Good day for that well-dressed young lady.
And a good day to remember 5 years ago today as well. If you're just tuning in, missed the opening. little vignette, so to speak, that Don Waldron put together on Mark Buehrle. This is the anniversary, the 5th anniversary of his perfect game. And you can never mention that perfect game without the catch. Greatest catch, I should say, greatest catch I have ever seen because of the significance of it.
And the fact that he was just inserted into the game for defense, so it wasn't like he had 8 innings to loosen up. He said, go out there, make some history.
That ball is easy play. 1-2-3 inning for Shields. And we're into the 4th, tied at 1.
White Sox fans and Cub fans to the Hall of Fame this Saturday at 5:30 as WGN Sports presents Chicago's Call to the Hall. Half-hour special will air live from Cooperstown, New York. The night before, former White Sox star Frank Thomas and former Cubs star Greg Maddux are inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Dan Roan will highlight the careers of Thomas and Maddux and the role Chicago played in their road to immortality. Additionally, on Sunday night during instant replay at 9:40 Central Time, WGN News will have highlights of the Thomas and Maddux Hall of Fame induction speeches. Watch Chicago's Call to the Hall on Saturday evening at 5:30 right here on WGN TV.
Eric Hosmer takes strike 1, leading off here in the top of the 4th inning. He is 0 for 1 with the sacrifice fly. Picked up his 45th RBI. That's after Kane had led off the game with a double, sacrificed to third by Infante, and then the fly ball to center by Gary. There's a chopper 2 hop. Getting back to that catch by Dwayne Wise. First of all, on its own, set apart from everything else, it was a great catch. It was a phenomenal catch. But when you say it's the last out when Gabe Kapler hit the ball, I remember that because Dwayne Wise played very shallow. I didn't think he was going to be able to get there, but for some reason he kicked it in the high gear. He got there, hit the wall, jumped up on the wall, got the ball, brought it back in, dropped it, and then caught it coming down and held on to it.
I think it was interesting, if you had a chance to see that little short vignette before the game, that Mark Buehrle said he didn't know that Wise had dropped the ball and then corralled it on his way down. He said he texted him and told him that it was just unbelievable. He thought it was a great play anyway. Now it was an even greater play. What an effort that was.
There's a base hit by Perez. Well, the last thing I do before every pitch, I did it as a base runner, and as broadcaster for all these years, I check the outfield to see where they are. It gives you a better idea when the ball's hit. And that's why the base runners should check the outfielders before every pitch to see the same thing. As I said, Dwayne Wise played the shallowest of any center fielder in the American League. And just before Mark threw the pitch, I looked up, and there he was, standing almost, as compared to other center fielders behind second base. And when Kapler hit it, I said, oh, no. And he got there. Gordon singled his first trip. 0-1 the count. It's amazing what adrenaline can do. That's one reason we read many times that people perform superhuman feats of strength when the adrenaline kicked in and the car has just run over somebody, or a door has to be opened, and they just pull it off the hinges. One and two. Outfield slightly to the left, spaced about equidistant, and the count 2-2.
Tried to throw a high fastball by him, but that one was way out of the zone.
Good pitch, ate him up, fights it off, stays alive.
Want to throw this one below his hands on the inside part of the plate. Gordon was able to hit the top of the ball, and he'll live to see another pitch.
Full count. Valencia on deck. Put a pretty good pass on that one. Minnesota now leading 3-1 over Cleveland. The game in the top of the 7th at Target Field. Souvenir left side. Okay, some of you missed some of the games last night. That Yankee game went a long way. We got 14 innings.
The newly acquired Chase Headley was the man who drove home a winning run.
Innings, 2-1. That ball's by Beckham. So Perez will hang out at second. 1 out, 2 on.
Second hit for Gordon. Just barely eases it by a diving Gordon Beckham. Salvador Perez doesn't have much speed, so he's not even thinking about going to third with Sierra on the catching end and later the throwing end of that one. And last time Valencia was up, he grounded into one of their 2-5-4-3 double plays.
Yeah, that was the seesaw game in New York when they got to the 9th. CBA hit a home run and base hit. by Ellsbury in the bottom of the ninth, tied it at 1. And Headley with the hit in the 14th. Yankees now 51-48, 3 games over, and Texas 20 games under at 40-60.
Runs at first and second and 1 out. Kansas City has played it at least 1 run 35% of the time. Sox pitchers have given up at least 1 44% of the time, with league average right in the middle of the 2.
Broken bat. Oh boy. Crack him up. Second double play. Valencia is hit into this one 1-4-3, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Still tied.
Jeff Vukovich, your local Nationwide insurance agent, serving the area for 36 years. To join the nation, visit jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side.
One 5-0 for the Royals, 1-4-0 for our Sox here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It'll be Gillespie, Diaz, and Flowers. On 0 for 1 popped up to Moustakas, his counterpart. And takes first pitch strike. Coming in today, Kansas City, 7 games back, 49-50. Last year they were 10 games over. People, including myself, thought they had underachieved last year. Free hopper. 1 out. So if you look at them being 1 game under now, Cleveland in second place, 5.5 back. We're 9 back coming in, followed by Minnesota at 11. So it's going to be interesting. Possibilities are there for an interesting couple of weeks.
It's going to be interesting to see who does what as we move closer to the end of July and the non-waiver trading deadline, to see who shores up their ball club. I think that Dayton Moore thought 10 games over last year. He went out, he got Aoki, he went out, he got Infante. That he felt shored up 1 and 2 in the batting order. I think at Vargas, the left-hand pitcher, who's a good one, who's just now starting to rehab and ready to come back. He thought that he had added enough to his team to get over the hump, but it hasn't worked out that way so far.
Well, those moves that you just mentioned, and all of a sudden you throw the bullpen in, it was there already. That's the reason I picked him to win the division.
I was going to say, it looked like on the surface, with what they accomplished last year, it looked like it was going to be probably enough to beat it.
Barehanded, nice play. Fonte, so the Astros retired.
I think Shields is surprised that he didn't make that play himself. He's a very good athlete, a good fielder. And yet that ball got by him, but not by Infante. With a bare hand pickup and the throw as the bat shatters, and Shields just misses it. He doesn't usually miss these. But a great play by Infante.
Now here's Tyler. Tyler singled his first at bat. He's got the catbird seat at 2-0.
Last time in a similar situation with 2 outs, nobody on. Single, double, and a walk loaded him up.
And there he is, 2 for 2. Well, you know, on an everyday basis, if you look at Kansas City's infield, including the catcher, the best defensive infield in the American League. Now let's go to the outfield. Aoki can't throw, but he can catch it. He's got decent speed out there. You got maybe the best left fielder in the American League, Alex Gordon. And whoever they put out there, Lorenzo Cain, plays like Willie Mays against us.
Or Jared Dyson. I mean,
and Jared Dyson gets at everything.
Either one can fly.
Plus, they can steal bases. They got 81 stolen bases. Something's wrong with that picture. Moises just ripped a double by Moustakas down the line. Like never had a chance. The ball was hit so hard. Oh, and 2 the count.
Shields might have learned a little something by the location of the last at bat this year, and that was he got a straight change, which was probably a good pitch against anybody because it is such a good pitch, but he kept it on the inner portion of the plate. And with a wide open stance, that's right in your happy zone.
Fonte's got him. And that'll retire the side. We're into the 5th. Totals on the board identical at 1-5-0. Celebrate a special birthday or anniversary, or even host a business function in the Diamond Suite while at a Sox game. Diamond Suite's going to accommodate groups from 10 to 100. From 10 to 100 guests. So single game packages include a great food menu as well as beverages and parking passes. So to purchase, visit whitesox.com/suites. Moustakas, Escobar, Aoki here in the top of the fifth, lower third of their order. First pitch strike. Moustakas walked his first at bat. The only walk that Quintana has issued, and he is yet to strike out anybody.
That's most unusual for Jose in that he's got one of the highest averages strikeouts per 9 innings in the league.
But he had 115 strikeouts and 124 innings coming in.
And you're up there right around 8 strikeouts per 9 innings, maybe a little bit over that. That's pretty strong.
Gordon's got him.
Have to watch a bunt with Escobar because he is pretty fast. And he knows how to bunt very well. With that in mind, Gillespie fairly shallow at third.
Gordon made a beautiful play to get him his first at bat.
.57 pitches. Pretty good so far for Jose.
Ate him up, shanks it, foul. Rubber match of this 3-game set. We won the opener 3-1 behind Chris Sale's 9th victory against one defeat. It was on Monday. Last night, Cy Chin. Bruce Chin once again dazzled our guys with a lot of cunning and guile to pick up the victory. They won 7-1.
And the bullpen certainly helped him out because he went the requisite 5 and that was it.
He gone. First strikeout. Well, that's what good bullpens do. You get them the lead, and they'll hold it for you.
Last year they were the best by a pretty good margin. This year Seattle has been the best to this point.
Well, last year they were the best in all of baseball.
They were some pen.
Seattle this year is going like gangbusters. Seattle with a 2.39 bullpen ERA.
That's the handiwork of Don Wakamatsu, former Major League manager, now a coach.
And he's one of the better guys not managing in the baseball guys not managing in the big leagues.
I think it was a tough situation for him at Seattle.
You think?
But that being said, you can bring him over just for the calligraphy.
I think just a day or so ago, Kansas City's bullpen was at 3.56. went down after last night. Now they're at 3.48.
Last year the bullpen was a 255. That is something.
Yeah, it is.
Best in the American League since Oakland posted a 235 in 1990. So when you get to those numbers out of that pen, you're probably going to have a pretty good year if your offense does anything for you.
They don't have to do much if you get some decent starters.
And they did. I mean, they brought over Shields, and that was one of the things they did last year was bring over James Shields.
Let's put it this way: Nate Moore has done his job.
Yeah, he has. And so you look at two reasons. One is they don't hit the ball out of the ballpark very much. And one is they don't hit the ball in the ballpark very much.
And the third one is they're not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark very much.
No, not in that park. Oh, this particular lineup. They will hit some home runs, obviously. All teams do. They just won't have big home run years.
Come in the other day, they only had 7 more home runs on the road than they had at home. But you got to give up something to get the defense they've got. And I'll take the defense. That's the first rule in baseball. It's not pitching, it's not hitting, it's catch the baseball. And they catch the baseball better than anybody in this division. Especially when you consider their range.
I think they might catch the baseball better than anybody in the league.
I do too. I do too.
If you take a look at everything they do, factor in the arms, they're hard to beat.
Yeah, they are. Boy, they used to be really hard to beat. In Georgie's era, Brett's era, they'd win 52, 53, 54, 55 home games every year.
Well, when you consider you win 50 games at home, you play 500 on the road, you're 19-0. I mean, you're going to have a great year just winning 50 at home and playing 500.
Yeah, Kansas City and Houston used to be the 2 toughest places back in that era when Brett was around. In baseball to win a game for the road team.
They did it a different way because in Kansas City they had great speed, artificial surface. Houston had the artificial surface. They had overwhelming pitching. I mean, they had a pitching staff 5 deep that could all throw the ball 95 and above.
They were pretty good coming out of that bullpen too, Quiz. As they thought they had it. But that's ball 4.
Here's a breaking ball. Might have hung a touch inside. Tyler thought it was good enough. He started to run off, but Andy Fletcher said, hold on a minute.
Well, it could go either way.
Yeah.
One of those pitches. Either or. So here is Kane. So Aoki, as we mentioned, he's 8 for 12 in stolen bases. George Brett. What a player. My all-time favorite baseball player.
George is one of the 6 hitting coaches they've had over the last couple of years.
That's awful.
And George knows how to hit.
That's down to third. And that'll do it. We're halfway home. Tied at 1. Sox fans, join us on Saturday, August 16th at 6:10 as our Sox take on the Blue Jays. Now, the first 20,000 fans will receive a Frank Thomas bobblehead. A Big Hurt bobblehead presented by Comcast Sportsnet. Be sure to stay after the game for a post-game fireworks show presented by Comcast Sportsnet. So 866 Sox game or visit whitesox.com. Top of the order here in the bottom of the 5th. Eaton, Beckham, and Abreu. James Shields, 32 years old, 6'3", 215 pounds. Boy, can he pitch. He's one of those guys we used to call like rubber arms. Looked like he could throw all day long.
He's a guy that you can bet will just pile up innings for you, get you double digits in wins each and every season.
And that has never had more value. Off the glove. Whoa. Eating the board.
They're going to charge Infante with an error, and he doesn't make many of them. This is just his 5th. One hopper. Has to back up on it, play it off to the side, and that's a go-ahead run aboard.
And here's Beckham. He's going out to center. Then last time up, the 2-out bases loaded, he hit a rocket down to Moustakas at third base, who made the play. Definite hang woofle. Like Shields' mom, Cindy, and Aaron Rowan's mom, Connie, were sisters. That's back him up. 2 down. So here's Abreu. It's 1 for 2, a double. And a run scored. That was in the first inning.
The reasons the Royals had such a good year last year was they won 31 one-run games. And when you have the kind of bullpen and the defense they had, you're going to win your share, and winning one-run games is the way to get to the playoffs normally, and that one hurt.
It's the first way. The second way is playing well in your own division. Those two factors right there. You win close. The secret to winning in Major League Baseball, you got to win close ball games. And you got to play well in your own division. in front of that one.
Sailing right along, his usual performance. Look at his face out on the mound. You can't tell if he's giving up 5, throwing a no-hit.
Baltimore used to have a lot of guys like that. Mike Cuellar, Dave McNally, a couple of left-handers. They were the same if they threw a one-hit shutout or you got them out there in the second or third inning. Now, of course, Jim Palmer's a little different. 8-time 20-game winner and about 9 times that ball hit and going foul. 9 times Cy Young Award winner. But you could tell how he was doing with his face. What a pitcher. What a pitcher he was. Man. Mel Stottlemyre, former 20-game winner with the New York Yankees. Same way.
Well, you couldn't have 2 different styles of pitchers than Stottlemyre and Palmer. Stottlemyre, a sinker baller, straight over the top, and I mean, it really sunk. And Palmer, high fastballs, curveball from the same location, and it just exploded.
Yeah. And that will do it. We get the leadoff man aboard. Can't do anything with it. And we're into the 6th. In the top of the 6th, 1-5-1 for the Royals, 1-5-0 for our guys. Conte with a sacrifice bunt. And a beautiful play by Gillespie to get him. Just tuning in, Connor has thrown a little leather in this ball game. 3 plays, 2 of them real good. One of them sensational. Talking about winning close ball games. 2005. We won everything. The White Sox in close ball games, 35-19.
That's how you get it done.
Well, that was best in all of Major League Baseball. Ozzie did a great job that year, and every time we got in a close ball game, you thought you were going to win. And that's where the manager comes in, playing those one-run ball games.
That's a good straight change. He had Infante well out in front. Normally Infante will hit the ball the opposite way. That's why there's such a big gap in left center field.
In fact, I was talking about it the other night. That was one of the best managing jobs I've ever seen. What Ozzie did in 05. And there's a soft foul ball, thank you very much. And a guy going into Cooperstown on Sunday. I forget what year it was with Oakland. Tony La Russa. He came in here with a club that we had a much better team than they did. And they were all crippled up. Big series. It was a 4-game series. They won 3 out of 4. That was one of the best managing jobs for the year that I ever saw.
And he had some real strong managing jobs in St. Louis.
Well, he had 2 of the best you'll ever see. Of course, he got a little help from the Detroit pitching staff in that one series. But
getting him there,
that was the whole key.
Getting him there was.
He couldn't have had that help unless he got him there in the first place. Joe Torre had a tremendous managing job one year with the Yankees when they were crippled up for most of the season. People just assumed that they were going to win it anyway, but it wasn't that easy, but he got them there. Another guy going in on Sunday, and Bobby Cox. So Bobby probably had a few good managing jobs in his career.
I would say so. 14 straight division titles.
Yeah. He gone. Yeah, if anybody wants to say that wasn't the best tandem in the history of baseball, Schuerholz and Cox. Just throw the 14 straight up there.
Not likely to happen anytime soon.
So here's Hosmer. Eric, a sacrifice fly and a ground out to Beckham. Takes first pitch strike.
I think Eric thought that one was a little low. But could have gone either way. This time it went Jose's way. Jose does that goes unnoticed a lot is that he'll stay down, and all of a sudden change the eye level. And he's got a lot of mileage out of some high fastballs this year. After getting hitters concentrating on the ball down, away, he'll stay up, he'll stay in.
Gordon got him. Beautiful play. Hosmer can run. Meanwhile, 2 down.
Gordon realized it, and so when he came across, he went straight over the top with as much as he could get on it. And got it there. A good full step ahead of Hosmer.
And for all you out there who don't see Beckham play very often, and Alexei, that's one reason we turn so many double plays. You know, tandem in baseball get better arms than Beckham and Ramirez. Perez is lined out hard. A terrific catch by Gillespie, and he is single. best young catchers in baseball, Salvador Perez. Yanks that one foul. If you're just joining us, both teams with a run in the first inning.
And that's it. Both pitchers gotten awfully tough since then.
Had him out front, off balance, fouls it back. Outfield for the most part straight up, spaced about equal distance.
Good plate coverage by Perez because he went out of the strike zone trying to protect. That ball was a good 2-3 inches off the outside corner. Xfinity pitch tracks will show you that it wasn't a strike, but he was able to foul it off.
Broken bat, and that's going to be a base hit. Well, that's another reason that Royals don't hit a lot of home runs. They've got a lot of players, a lot of hitters who go to that plate, excellent plate coverage. And when you're covering that whole plate, you're not going to hit a lot of home runs.
Well, they have a lot of contact hitters, and it's evidenced by looking at the team strikeouts heading into action today. As a team, they fanned 586 times. As a team, our ball club fanned 864 times. That's a huge difference. But also a huge difference, 57 home runs for the Royals and 100 home runs for the Sox.
Yeah.
If you're going to hit home runs, you're going to strike out.
Well, you're going to zone in more. We've talked about it, discussed it. It's a state of mind. It's a habit. You get in the habit of hitting home runs, or you get in the habit of not hitting home runs. You get in the habit of covering the plate. And the more of that plate, as you know, Steve, you're a good pitcher, and you've seen it a long time, as I have. You get good pitchers out there, and you try to cover the plate, you're not going to hit home runs.
Well, you're going to wind up swinging a lot of pitchers' pitches and making outs on pitches where other hitters would have either taken it or swung and missed, and then wait for a mistake. You don't have that luxury when you ground to second base on a pitcher's pitch for the first or second pitch of the at-bat.
Two out, 1-1 to count. There are not many Miguel Cabreras and Manny Ramirez and Frank Thomases who have great plate coverage, who hit a lot of home runs. There are not many of those guys around.
Well, if there was, you'd be sitting here talking to yourself, because I would have never had a career, because I couldn't have gotten those guys out, and neither could anybody else.
That's right.
Be no pitchers. Just put it on a tee and said, here, hit it, and the rest of the guys will chase it.
That's right. Just instead of me, give me another outfielder out there.
That's it. Now those guys, I mean, when you, and where you look at the game and you're looking for pitchers and you're looking at their tendencies, whatever, I'm looking at hitters and I'm thinking about how to get them out. I look at Cabrera, and you just don't have a spot. You might get him one time here, but you're not going to get him there again. So then you got to go to a different spot.
That's right. All three of those guys, three of the smartest hitters, as he just got a piece of that, three of the smartest hitters in the last 50 years in the game.
And they will also, especially Cabrera, we've seen him a lot do this. A lot of hitters don't have the ability to do it. They'll set up pitchers. I mean, they'll look bad at a pitch, knowing that if they get that same pitch again, they're going to hit it 8 miles.
Of the three,
yeah.
Manny Ramirez was the best.
Manny was.
He was the
yeah,
best.
Manny was terrific.
at setting up pitchers. And there's another broken bat base hit softly. So Perez now he'll move into third, and with 2 out, they have runners at the corners.
3 hits for Alex Gordon today. These are 2 of the toughest left-handers around in Chris Sale and Jose Quintana. And in this series, he's got 5 hits against these 2 left-handers. And again, we haven't seen anything remotely similar to that all year long against these 2 guys. So Tyler goes out there, brings in Alexi, wants a word with Jose on how they want to attack Valencia, who's hit the bat twice and accounted for 4 outs.
But the common denominator on the 3 guys that we mentioned, Frank Thomas, Buehrle, and Managerial, the common denominator for those 3 guys were, if it's the 7th game of the World Series, and you got a 1-run lead in the bottom 9th inning and the bases loaded, and one of those guys is at the plate, you got to try to get them inside. That's a common denominator. All 3 of them.
Yeah, I was going to say that's really the only spot you have.
That's right.
And if they're looking for it, you don't have that.
Then you don't. Right. But if they're looking for something out over the plate and you get it out over the plate, you lose. Valencia 0 for 2. Breaking ball.
There's one hop into the Sox dugout and out. Lexi makes some friends by flipping it into the seats.
Well, that's one reason, I've always thought, even as a player, you should have 2 hitting coaches. Now, a lot of teams are starting to have 2 hitting coaches. You get one for home run hitters and you get one for line drive type coaches. Yes, he did. Because the mindsets and philosophies are entirely different.
Ronald Belisario loosening up as Quintana has gotten to the 100 pitch mark.
They're going to double him up. Nope. Came back with a fastball, but he got it in a good spot. Away
and upstairs where Valencia couldn't do anything with it. His best bolt. Fouled that off for making out on a pop-up. So he fouled it off.
Gordon's sneaky. You give it to him, he'll take it. He's 7 for 9 in stolen bases. But you don't have a whole bunch of speed to third in case they're going to try to steal it. He gone. Yes. And that'll retire the side. He pitches out of it. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Still tied at 1.
This in the first inning makes a brilliant catch of a line drive that was ticketed for 2. In the second inning, he backs up and turns a 5-4-3 double play. And in the third inning, diving toward the line, and he throws him out to end the inning. Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
It'll be Dunn. It'll be Ramirez. It'll be Gillespie here in the bottom of the 6th. Adams 1 for 2 with an RBI single in the first inning, knocking in Abreu.
Both of these pitchers this afternoon have been brilliant. Not much to choose from so far. Royals have had 7 hits, Sox with 5. There's been only 1 error in the game, that belonging to the Royals, and only 2 runs scored, 1 apiece. As Quintana once again hooked up against a pitcher who's thrown it real well. And he does ring him up.
He calls him up.
Well, at that point, when you don't know you've been rung up, and the catcher's standing between you and first base, you have there's no place for you to go. What are you going to do? He puts out his hand and says, "Tag me." Here.
That's Miguel Cabrera.
Here, I give up.
Adrian Beltre move right there.
That's it. Adam doesn't know he's been called out. Now he realizes he's got Perez between him and the bag. Okay, so tag me. I give up. That's great.
It was.
That's great.
Oh, boy. But, you know, we're talking about hitting home runs. Kansas City does not. You look at the guys who are hitting home runs. The guy who's leading everybody, Abreu with 29, is an exception. He has good plate coverage. In fact, that's the reason he's Abreu. And that's the reason we've been seeing history. That should be a base hit. So the 1-out single.
I think if Escobar had that to do over again, because Alexi, when you hit the ball and it's inside, you get turned around in the batter's box. He probably would have caught it with his glove. He thought he could barehand and throw it in the same motion. Cost him a base hit and a good base runner on against one of the better throwing catchers around. What Alexi has to worry about at first base is that Perez loves to see guys with good secondary leads because he loves to throw behind them at first.
So here's Gillespie. He's popped to third and grounded to second. But if you check out Kansas City's hitters, if you look at Hosmer, he's got excellent play coverage. If you look at Billy Butler, he's got excellent play coverage. If you look at Alex Gordon, he's got excellent play coverage. If you look at the home run hitters in this league, Nelson Cruz does not have excellent play coverage.
Doesn't need it. If he puts a bat on it, it's gone.
That's right. Encarnacion does not have excellent play coverage. Mike Trout does not have excellent play coverage. And on and on. Ortiz got pretty good play coverage. But the rest of these guys don't have a real good play coverage. That's the reason they hit home runs. First and third, right here. Miguel Cabrera, and I say this very complimentary, is a freak, a hitting freak, because he has great play coverage and he hits home runs. Got him. 2 down.
Good breaking ball down. Nice stop by Perez. Not too many get by him.
Piazza popped up to center and got it out to second. Good play by Infante to get it. Got him. He's got one of the best moves in the game, and he gets picked off. So that'll retire the side, and we'll go to the seventh.
SAP audio setting provided by 97.5 FM ESPN Deportes, Chicago's first and only Spanish language sports radio station. Both of these pitchers going right at their opposing teams and not giving an inch since that first inning.
Moustakas, Escobar, and Aoki here in the seventh. First pitch strike. Mike has walked and he has grounded to second. They got a shift going for him. Outfield, for the most part, straight up and very much spread out. And count 0-2. Moustakas, 3 hits last night, 2 home runs, 2 bullets. Speed pitch number 107.
Pretty strong numbers for Jose.
Last year, 17 no decisions for an American League record.
He's got 3 in a row this year, and he keeps throwing the ball exceptionally well each and every time out. Sometimes he just picks the wrong day to pitch.
Well, that's why I've always said that Walter Johnson, Gordon Cleaver, Alexander, Sandy Koufax. Those were some of the luckiest guys because they always picked the day to pitch the other team didn't want to hit.
No, they didn't. They couldn't. And the last 6, been unbelievable. 177 ERA, 2-0 record. Obviously, when you have a 177 ERA over 6 starts, you expect to win more than 2 of them, but that's been his lot. Opponents hitting just 169.
Well, if you wanted to go back for a guy who pitched for us, I'm not going to say he was that unlucky, but he was close as far as, first of all, leading the game with a lead and having the bullpen blow it. Next of all, never getting off a hook. And that was Mark Buehrle.
Still, he's managed to have some pretty good numbers, over 500 over the course of his career.
Just goes to show you how good he was. Just goes to show you how good he was. And is. So here's Aoki. He has singled and he has walked. I mentioned the other day that Ronnie Jazzayerli, the guy who wrote an interesting, very interesting piece on Buehrle, on just how good Mark Buehrle was. And he delves into what we were just talking about.
Jose has 8 no decisions this year so far. We don't know how he's going to wind up. Probably won't come close to last year's, at least hopefully. But the most no decisions in the major leagues since 2012 belongs to the man on the mound. 35 of them. Kyle Lohse is close with 31.
Chopper to Hopper. Nice 1-2-3 inning, 7th inning stretch. Still tied at 1. It's a 1-1 tie here in the bottom of the 7th. For our guys, it'll be Diaz, Flowers, and Sierra. We got our hands full as they do. Opened it up for you, and Steve told you this was a terrific pitching match today.
Turned out to be every bit of that and then some.
Both guys gave up a run if you're just joining us in the 1st inning. For them, it was Lorenzo Cain led off with a double. Sacrifice bunt by Infante. Sacrifice fly by Hosmer. For us, with 2 out, Abreu doubled, and Dunn singled him in. And then for the rest of the inning so far, for our hitters and their hitters, grab some bench.
Pretty good numbers for James Shields. He hasn't reached 100 pitches yet.
Well, you're not going to see a lot of hard throwers get to the 7th inning with less than 100 pitches. It makes you just understand a little bit better when guys like Maddox, just how great he was. A lot of times, 9 innings, 91 pitches, 9 innings, 87 pitches.
Yeah, he was, I mean, he struck out over 3,000 guys.
Oh, yeah.
You're talking about a guy who could strike out a lot of people also.
He did it with movement.
He did it with movement.
And changing of speeds.
He didn't throw a lot of pitches out of the zone.
No. I mean, you know, that's just shows you how great he was. I mean, he arguably, I don't care what anybody wants to say, want to debate it. One of the greatest that ever lived.
355 wins. And he did go through an era that had their share of steroid guys in it. Didn't make a whole lot of contact with Maddox, and what he did was throw strike 1. So when you throw strike 1, you get a lot of guys early in the count going after you. You get a lot of 1-pitch at bats. If not, you get 2-pitch at bats. And Maddox never made a wasted pitch. He tried to get you out with every pitch he threw, and he threw every pitch for a reason.
Well, Don Drysdale, God rest his soul, Hall of Famer, great Dodger. He did exactly the same thing. I think Maddox probably took a page out of his book. Every pitch he threw, he tried to get you out with that pitch. That no waste. Don's saying was, get him in 1, get him in 1. If it takes 2, get him in 2. If it takes 3, get him in 3.
The big difference in the two is Maddox was a comfortable 0 for 4. Nobody would ever tell you Don Drysdale was a comfortable anything. A lot of people didn't like to face it.
Well, I'll tell you, cute story. Coming up through the minor leagues, you know, the Sporting News, as he can't get it on the count 2-1. Sporting News was everybody's mind. Every player, big leagues, AAA, AA, A, B, C, and D, all players all read the Sporting News each and every week. You couldn't wait to get the new Sporting News out.
That was it. I mean, they didn't have much news.
No, we didn't have iPads, and, you know, iPhones, Twitter, and tweets. So coming up, you read all these stories about these major leaguers if you're in the minor leagues, and you read all about how Don Drysdale has hit all these guys coming up. First time I faced him, I was in spring training, 19 years old. Just hit a ton of home runs in minor leagues. And everybody knew who I was, you know, because of the home runs. And I'm hitting 4th that day, because that's high into left field. That's 2 out. Ed Charles, our third baseman, was hitting 3rd. He goes to the plate, and Drysdale hit him right in the neck with a fastball. And I'm on the on-deck circle, and I'm saying, oh, my God. All those stories were true. You're right. Maddox was comfortable before compared to Drysdale.
They could say a whole lot, and there was a lot of words used to describe him because he was a great pitcher, but nobody ever said he was comfortable to face.
No. And Mickey's put it the best. He said the secret to getting Drysdale is to hit him before he hits you. Mickey Mantle said it. Sierra takes strike 1.
That's 101 pitches for Shields.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. I love to watch James Shields pitch. As yesterday, you know, from a baseball standpoint, I don't like what they do to our club. Loose chin, side chin. Love to watch him.
Shields has much better stuff, and yet when you look at what Chen has done with the stuff that he has, I mean, he's got over 1,100 strikeouts, so
well,
he strikes out some people. He's won 80-some games.
Over 500.
Yeah, I mean, he's right. He's over 500.
I was a right-handed hitter. I'd have a better chance. I'd rather hit Shields than I had Chin. Left-handed with a changeup like that. Well, Shields got a great changeup too, but he gets him. 1-2 for inning, and we'll go to the 8th.
It's been a battle of the two starters. Shields going 7, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts and a walk. And Quintana, he's out of the ball game. He goes 7 hits, 1 earned run, a couple of walks and 3 strikeouts. And Jose Quintana will get another no decision. Start something special with great leases and low financing on a new Honda. You can visit shophonda.com or your local Honda dealer. So Ronald Belisario comes into the ball game. He's 3-6, his ERA 4.74 on for the 42nd time. And since being slotted down into the 7th and 8th inning of relief work, he's been excellent.
He's got the top of the order, Kane, Infante, and Hosmer. Jose Quintana once again. I'll tell you, besides being an outstanding pitcher, in the last 30 years, I don't know if we've ever had a nicer young man on our team than Jose Quintana.
No, he's terrific.
He is a gentleman. He is such a nice person.
And like you, I mean, we get the visiting broadcasters come in and they always say, well, tell us about whoever it is who's starting on a given day. And I said, he probably is the most underrated of all pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
Because you don't hear a lot about him. They don't put him in the same league with some of the other more publicized guys. Some of the other guys who win a whole lot of games. You look at his record, it doesn't look like much. And then you watch him pitch. You watch him pitch like we do each and every start. And you see that each and every start is just, he's terrific. He just keeps you in the ball game, hoping for the team to score a few runs, and unfortunately it doesn't happen very much. Wade Davis loosening up now for Kansas City, and he's been close to unhittable.
Tops that foul. Well, whoever raised Quintana did it right. It's like Frank Thomas going in the Hall of Fame this Sunday. They raised that guy right. There's not a bad bone in Frank Thomas' body. It's a big hurt. we've been lucky here. That's one of the things that Reinsdorf and then Kenny Williams, especially when he came in to his 12 years here, demanded. Besides being a good player, good character, good person. If we had bad guys here, every team is going to have some bad guys. I don't care what your demands are, but we have had fewer than the others. We've had one really bad guy, and he wasn't here very long. And that's chop foul. On the other side of that page, you got some clubs, some GMs and owners, they don't care. As long as you can get people out, as long as you can hit home runs, swing the bat, you can play for them. And the funny thing about it is most of the time those guys don't win.
Well, there's a lot of executives, and not only the GM, but other of the decision makers that want to assemble rotisserie teams. They're looking at tools, and tools only, and not how they fit. And you're right, those teams don't come out on top too often. That one just missed off the outside corner, and I think Ronald thought it was good enough.
But you made the right call.
Yeah, it was a good call.
Full count. You don't know what this guy. He's 12 for 15 in stolen bases.
And for close games late, they do have a tremendous weapon, and that's Jared Dyson. They wouldn't use him in the pinch run for Kane, but they would use him in the pinch run, and he's 18 for 22 in stolen bases. Tremendous movement on that one because that ball was well in off the plate, but when Kane looked at it, that ball was actually on the plate. It moved 6 inches inside. Take a look at the movement. This ball's on the plate and then just dives inside off the plate, the 9th pitch of the at-bat. So battling at bat for Kane.
And that's foul.
The 11th pitch of the at-bat.
A run on 7 hits, 1 error for their guys. A run on 6 hits, no errors for our guys. Here in the top of the 8th inning in the rubber match of this 3-game set. We won to open the 3-1. They won last night 7-1. He gone.
That was a called third. That was a break.
1 out.
See where the 11th pops up.
So here is Infante. Sacrifice bunt. Gillespie made a good play to get him and a strikeout. So he's 0 for 2. Now maybe 1 for 3. Sox fans, join us on Friday, August 1st for Elvis Night. Be sure to stay for an Elvis-themed post-game fireworks display. And Elvis Night and fireworks are presented by St. Xavier University. So purchase your tickets today by visiting whitesox.com or calling 866-SOX-GAME.
Billy Butler is going to come on to pinch hit for Eric Hosmer. Butler 2 for 4 this year as a pinch hitter. And you don't see Eric Hosmer taken down too often.
I mean, that's a shocker unless something's wrong with Hosmer. And he was in the box or coming up to the plate.
Well, he did get hit off the hand by Lester, and maybe it could be that the hand is not quite 100%. That is really surprising.
Well, there's no difference in the thing. Hosmer's 0 for 2 against Butler's 1 for 2. I mean, 0 for 2 might have been 2 shots right at the first baseman.
You never know.
Butler's might have been duck snorting to right. Of course, this is one of my favorite guys to watch hit too. He's having an off year. Billy Butler. I got a feeling he's been trying to do too much for this ball club since they aren't scoring. When you do, you're going to take yourself out of your zone and you're going to go in a funk. Watch out. That got him.
Well, hopefully he's okay. This one rides way up and in. Got him off the outside of the bicep. Right on the Royal logo. Puts a go-ahead run out at second base, something he certainly was not trying to do.
As here comes Robin, we'll take another look at this. Watch Billy makes his approach. And he starts to make the right move is what really saved him. If he turns into it, he's going to get really hurt. So they have 2 men aboard. Infante at second. Butler at first. And here's Salvador Perez, 2 for 3 today.
You throw a ground ball here, and he is an easy man for 2. Grounded into 15 of them this year.
Well, the only out he made was in the first inning to end the first inning. A sensational play by Gillespie at third. Takes first pitch strike. Looks, can't find handle a little bit right there, or else Alexi, he saw it was going to be a little bit late. Meanwhile, they get an out, 2 down. He still had time. If it works out and he can find the handle and or Alexi's there, they can turn it.
Now it's pretty simple. You put Gordon at first base and take your chances with Valencia. And Gordon thinking about 2, but as he's doing a pivot, he just lost the grip on the baseball, got the out, which means you put Gordon on and take your chances with Valencia, who might be called back. He doesn't face right-handers too often. You do have Raul Ibanez, who had a good night last night. And now they're calling him back, and we'll see who Ned Yost wants to hit. It's not that man, because he's not due up till the next hitter, and there is Raul Ibanez.
Well, that's the reason they got him. Situations like this, late in the ball game, he has faced Belisario twice. He's 1 for 2, and now here comes Robin after Yost makes his move. Banya's a couple of hits last night. He was 2 for 4. So a break in the action as Belisario will depart, and we'll be back. Left field here at U.S. Cellular Field. And that's accessible from the 100, from the 300, and from the 500 level. Learn baseball fundamentals from White Sox Training Academy coaches, and the space features batting and pitching cages, base running areas, and baseball skill instruction. It's all from Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
And Eric Surkamp comes into the game with the bases loaded, no margin for error. He doesn't have a record. He does have a .587 ERA out for the 13th time. Opponent's hitting just 115, so they haven't done a very good job hitting the baseball against him. And he's going to face 42-year-old Raul Ibanez, who overall this year as a pinch hitter is 4 for 16 with 4 runs driven in.
Last year for Seattle, hit 29 home runs and drove in 65. He has 301 career home runs. And he is not afraid to knock in a run late in the ball game. Never has been. That's a huge pitch. First ball, breaking ball strike.
Career against the Sox, 305. 68 driven in. 115 games. Those are pretty good numbers.
Yeah, he's been a Sox killer.
No speed at second. Pretty good speed on the corners.
Fonte at third. Butler at second. Gordon at first. And he pops him up. Gordon got the angle, makes the catch, and he pitches out of it. Oh, good job by Eric Surkamp. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th in this 1-1 tie.
We head into the bottom of the 8th inning. Billy Butler came in the game to pinch hit, stays in the game defensively at first, and Wade Davis on the hill. He's 5-2. His ERA just over 1 on for the 40th time. Opponent's hitting just 113, and here is an amazing fact. That is that Wade Davis is the only pitcher in the major leagues with more than 4 appearances who has not allowed an extra base hit this year.
Adam. So 1 out. Adam now 1 for 3 with a walk.
July 23rd and nary an extra base hit against the big right-hander who's made the very smooth transition from the starting rotation to the bullpen, a lot like Luke Hochaver did during last year's season.
So here's Beckham, 0 for 3 today, but against Davis. He's drawn the collar in 19 at bats. Make it 20. Two down. And you can support White Sox charities, and you could win a brand new Mazda 3 White Sox themed car from C.J. Wilson Mazda. Now, tickets are just $10 and can be purchased at whitesox.com/SoxCar or at U.S. Cellular Field.
If there's ever a time for the first extra base hit of the year, this was it. Because Jose is probably thinking for one of the few times this year of trying to hit it out of the ballpark.
Yeah, 2 out, nobody on, tie ball game, bottom of the 8th.
Nothing else to think about.
No, that's the only thing. So if you get that thought process, you're certainly not going to be trying to cover the plate.
Middle in, think about it, and hit it. Of course, we don't get it there. And he winds up putting you at first. Well, you got the big man coming up next. We get one right down the middle. Couldn't catch up to it.
Good pitch inside. He can hit with short arms, but not on that particular pitch. Got him that one at 98 miles an hour, and we're into the 9th. White Sox game all season long with MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. You can get live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, free MLB.tv game of the day, live pitch-by-pitch tracking, classic games, and more. So you can download on the App Store or visit WhiteSox.com.
Zach Putnam comes into the ball game, and Putnam at 3-1, ERA 2.41, on for the 33rd time. He's got to face the bottom part of the order with pretty good speed in Escobar and Aoki. But first, Moustakas.
Moustakas 0 for 2 with a walk. Twice he has grounded out to Beckham. Just checking some of our minor league stuff here. Andy Wilkins continues to absolutely destroy the baseball. He went 2 for 5 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs last night as Charlotte beat Indianapolis 9-3. He's leading that league in home runs with 23.
How about 7 straight games, 7 straight multi-hit games?
He's got 7 homers over his last 6 games. And Josh Vegley. Josh is on a 16-game hitting streak. 32 for 71 in that time. Wilkins leads the league in extra base hits, 49, homers 23, total bases, slugging percentage.
Bueno and Holland. If they score, it's going to be Holland. If they don't, it'll be Bueno.
And a 3-1 count to Putnam. Fouls it back. Man, down at Birmingham. Rangel Ravelo tied for third, batting average of .319, 28 doubles. Chase Thompson, second run scored with 64. Full count, no walks. Fouls that back down at Winston-Salem. Jason Coates leads that league in hitting, or in hits, I should say, with 105. Jacob May has 36 stolen bases. The Hawk, Courtney Hawkins, tied for second, home runs with 15, third in RBIs with 65. Tim Anderson tied for fifth in triples with 7. Payoff. And another foul. And at the advanced rookie in Arizona, Carlos Rodon allowed 1 run on 2 hits with 1 strikeout in his Arizona League debut. Hits that one through the shift from Moustakas. Leadoff man aboard.
He's hit into the shift a couple of times, and that one just barely got by Abreu. And Gordon couldn't get to it. So he couldn't have hit this one in a better spot. This looked like a splitter out away. He hooked it, which is what the dead pull hitter does, and it just out of reach of both. On the right side, so that's a go-ahead run at first.
And here is Alcides. Escobar 0 for 3.
And a pretty good butter.
He's faced Zach twice. He's 0 for 2. Corners at third, I should say. Gillespie in close.
Escobar 5 sacrifices this year.
2-0 the count.
Putnam fell behind Moustakas before battling back into the at-bat. Now he's fallen behind Escobar. But he's limited the right-handers to a 190 batting average this year.
Sacrifice 1-4. So here's Aoki, good contact hitter. He's 1 for 2 today, and he's 0 for 2 against Putnam.
Sacrifice number 6 and a perfect bunt for Escobar, leaving Putnam with only one play. And after a brief juggle, he gets it across, and now Tyler Flowers going out, going through the set of signs he wants to use with Moustakas at second base. And you can afford to play a little bit more shallow in left field with Aoki up there. In fact, right now, they're waving Diaza in left. Waving Eaton in center and over toward left field.
A 1-1 to count to the 32-year-old outfielder. And that's trouble. Here's the throw. He gone. No, the ball pops out. Dadgummit.
That throw is right on the money. It's a perfect throw, and unfortunately, Tyler Flowers, who was sitting right there, set up for the contact, had the ball knocked out of his glove by Moustakas. Throws don't get much better than this. Adam Eaton, with all the best of it, comes in. Perfect throw right there. The problem was he never had a chance to put it away.
Well, Kansas City leads it 2-1.
Single E2, no run batted in. And there is Dyson at second.
And he's going to steal third. Unless Gordon stands right there. Throw the Tony La Russa on him. Kane, 1 for 4, double. That run scored. That was leading off the ball game. Scored on a sacrifice fly by Hosmer. 2-10-1 for them. 1-6 and a big one for us. What a great throw. Wow. Well, it can't get any better.
Nope.
Perfect.
Perfect because it was on the grass. It wasn't a short hop.
Perfect.
Unfortunately, from the angle we had, which was a very good angle, you could see that he didn't reach in to secure the ball. The ball was rolling at the top of the glove, and that's what allowed Moustakas to kind of kick it out.
One out, 1-1, 2-1.
Now watch the ball in the glove. He's got it, but it rolls to the top of the glove, and he doesn't really secure it well enough. And Moustakas just kicks it out.
Boy, Gordon. What a boy is that? You give him a chance, he's going to run. That's why he's on this ball club. We understand Hosmer was taken out to, they say, decreased hand strength.
In the old days, they would call it a sore hand from getting hit by Lester.
Full count. They must have said something to whoever because he was walking up to the plate.
Yep.
So a full count to Lorenzo Cain with 1 out here in the top of the 9th. They lead it 2-1. So good speed on the base paths as you got Cain at first and Burner, Jared Dyson at second, and here's Infante. He's 1 for 3.
Good stop by Tyler as he makes sure that the runners cannot advance.
There he goes. They got to go to second base. Don't get idiot by it.
There's a heads-up play by Tyler. Even though Cain has speed, he doesn't have Dyson's speed, and he didn't get Dyson's jump. But he was able to make it in. At second base, it's a double steal, the 19th for Dyson. He just takes
see
out
one thing right now. Tyler could see he wasn't going to have.
Nope.
He didn't have a chance, a prayer at Dyson.
Usually go after the trailer, but usually the trailer doesn't have the speed of Cain.
Watch out. I'm going to put Fonte on. Load him up. The second walk of the inning. And here comes Robin. Billy Butler. A blue plate special for him. Sacks packed. 1 out. Anything right here that's not a blue plate special is he's never faced Pat.
Get the right man pitching because Zach throws a lot of ground balls, and a ground ball turns into 2 with Butler more times than not. good stop by Tyler Flowers. I think it hit him
Face
in the mask.
burger.
It's. I think that. Yeah, Billy said. How'd that one feel? That was up right under the mask, and that's why catchers are taught on a ball in the dirt to keep your head down, so it doesn't come up under the mask and hit you in the throat, which is a terrible feel.
Want to know the count.
With the bases loaded, pretty good for Billy Butler.
And he's just seeing if Tyler's okay. Big pitch. Evens accounted 1. That was it for Billy right there. That was sweet meat. Wheelhouse.
Pretty good speed on the base paths for Kansas City.
Look at this. Look at this. Rack him up. Beautiful stop. Beautiful play by Mercy Beckham. Yes, but they come up with a run. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth, trailing 2-1.
And then it took a pretty good effort by Gordon Beckham. After that, it's pretty easy. Alexi comes across. They double him up to get out of the inning. And Lorenzo Cain in the game in right field. Jared Dyson, who came out of pinch run, stays in the game to play center field. And Greg Holland comes in the game. He's 25 for 26. Opponent's hitting 194, 54 strikeouts in 35 2/3. And he's got a 1-run lead.
Here's Adam 1 for 3. That RBI in the first inning.
The fourth drive of the game came early. RBI number 41 after Abreu had doubled with 2 outs in the first. Adam drove him home. And that's the only run of the ball game.
Count evens at 1. 1-2. Umpires in the stands didn't like the call, but it was a strike. One out.
That's his curveball. At 87, one of the harder curveballs around, and got it by him.
Here's Alexei. He's 4 for 14 against Howard.
Owen picked up an inning of work last night. Did give up a hit to Adam Eaton, but that was it in the ninth. But a non-safe situation.
One out, 1 ball, 1 strike. That pitch at 96. Well, it's a couple of years ago, he's had Buehrle come in and hit 101 a couple times. Holland came in the ninth, hit 102.
Some pen. O'Shaver was up in that neighborhood too. Out of the bullpen anyway.
He did not go. Well, Wade Davis struck out Jose on the 98er.
It's hard to believe Davis has gone all season without giving up an extra base hit. But he has.
It's
remarkable.
Unbelievable.
It's remarkable.
Yeah. That's popped up. Perez just can't quite get there. He tried. Two down. So it's up to Connor. Connor 0 for 3 today, and he has faced Greg Holland 7 times, and he's 0 for 7. So he's due. That's about to change. Count now is 1-1. 2 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Royals, and 1 on 6 hits and 1 error for our guys. Outfield straight up. Bit of a gap out there in right center, if he can find it. A little right-hander with a big arm. Powers in at 97. be a lot of trouble. Perez quickly out, and they get him. Beautiful play by Salvador Perez, and this ball game is over. So it was Jose Quintana once again was just outstanding. James Shields was just outstanding. And we'll be back to wrap it up right after this.